Okay. I want to dedicate our shir tonight to a full shlema for my grandfather-in-law, my wife's grandfather. These are full shlema, Laser Hirsch, then Rachel. He's a Holocaust survivor, who's been through 6 concentration camps. So I'm sure his tremendous spus and will protect them till the coming of Mashiach. There was this very argumentative, annoying person. His name was Mr. Levin. He always got in trouble because he would always fight with people. And one day, his neighbor's son scratched up his car, and he went after him, and he hit him. And there was another gentleman, his name was Shmuel Yitzchak, who was always able to pacify Mr. Levy. And in this unusual, real heated argument between these families, he was successful once again. He got everybody to calm down. And someone in the synagogue sees the Shmuel Yitzchak. He says, Shmuel Yitzchak, you're amazing. You're amazing. You always are able to calm things down. How do you do it? So Shmuel Yitzchak says, I'm able to calm down any argument that Mr. Levy has with anybody else, except for one person. One person I can't solve the argument. Really? Who is that? It's someone you know very well. Who? Mr. Levy has a problem with himself. A lot of people, out of us, maybe all of us, we have discord within ourselves. And we could attribute the discord to circumstances and what someone did to us, but a lot of times it's not something that anyone has done to us, but it's something from within us. And that's very relevant to this week, because this week we're reading about Lech Lecha. Lech Lecha is the instruction, the first test that Hashem gave to Avram Avinu. And the challenge, the test Hashem gave him was to leave everything he was used to and go to a new place that Hashem was going to tell him to go to. But it's not just Lech Lecha for Avram Avinu many years ago. It's Lech Lecha for every one of us this week. It's Lech Lecha for every Neshama in Gan Eden. It's Lech Lecha for all the Jewish people in history. This is the week of Lech Lecha. So the instruction of Hashem to Avram Avinu is instruction for all of us. The previous Rebbe, once when he was 11 years old, he saw his father learning Chumash, and he was very happy, but his tears were flowing down his face. And he didn't understand, because on the one hand, his father was such a happy mood. On the other hand, he was crying. So he went over to his father, and he asked his father, what are the tears about? He didn't really want to ask him, but he went in the room, and his father noticed him and said, you have something to ask? He says, yeah, I saw you were such an elated mood, and yet you were crying. So his father said, those tears you saw were tears of joy, different kinds of tears. Tears are something that hits you that's beyond what your mind can handle. It could be because something that's very painful, or it could be something that's just you don't understand it. In this instance, he said it was something very joyous. He was reading Lech Lecha, and this was brought him such joy that he just started to cry. That's what he told his son. And the previous Rebbe said, my father's tears caused me to do teshuvah. They made me into a Baal teshuvah. My father's tears transformed me into a Baal teshuvah. That's what he said. Now that's the story, but the story leaves with a lot of questions. First of all, what is the joyous and tearful meaning of Lech Lecha? Second of all, he's 11 years old. What does it mean he became a Baal teshuvah? What is that? What's going on in the story? So to address this, let's first talk a little bit about the opening verse of the Torah of this week's parsha. Hashem tells Avraham Avinu, I want you to leave your land. Okay, leave your country. Besides your country, you should also leave your birthplace. Besides your birthplace, you should also leave your father's house. Now, it should have said the opposite order. First, you leave your father's house, then you leave your neighborhood of your birthplace, and then you leave your whole country. And yet, to Avraham Avinu, Hashem told him the opposite order. Well, something deeper is going on over here that Hashem is telling him, and telling each of us this week. The Zohar says that these two words, Lech Lecha, had such a great power, and they could really open up for us horizons and help us live in a whole different way. If we understood and we would appreciate what these words are and absorb them internally, we would get to a whole different place in our lives. Randall Futterfass, Alva Shalom, would always come to Los Angeles in the week of Parshas Lech Lecha. He would always verbring the legendary chassid of Parshas Lech Lecha. So it's a week to verbring, not just to verbring, but to verbring high-level verbring and to get really in touch with ourselves. We just finished the whole season of Tishrei, or more than finished the season of Tishrei. The Rebbe Chaim Mushka was once talking to one of the Rebbe's secretaries, Rabbi Kleinel V'Sholom, and it was right after the Rebbe's heart attack. And the Rebbe's schedule, the secretaries were much younger than the Rebbe, had a hard time keeping up with. And he was happy that the whole Tishrei season, unlike the year before, when the Rebbe had the heart attack, this Tishrei season passed uneventfully. Things were calm, that the Rebbe was able to handle it. So he said, another Tishrei has passed peacefully. So Rebbe Chaim Mushka said, in our circles, we don't say a Tishrei has passed. We see another Tishrei has been added to us. Another Tishrei, we've received another Tishrei. It's not how it's past us. Another Tishrei we've got. So although we've changed absorbed. So we may have changed our shoes, but we're still wearing the same feet that we use to dance to the Torah. And the reason Hashem gave us those same feet is because He wants us to approach our life with the same joy of Simchas Torah. They're meant to take us into the Lech Lecha. But what is the Lech Lecha? Lech Lecha means, as the Shlosh says, literally, go to yourself. Look at yourself under a microscope. Get in touch with who you really are. That's what Hashem is telling us this week. Find out and get in touch with He didn't call you? He told me He's going to call you. Lech Lecha means to get in touch with your deepest self. And that's not an easy thing, not a fun thing necessarily to put yourself under a microscope. But Hashem told Avram Avinu, Lech Lecha, and Rashi says, why should you do this? This is for your benefit, this is for your gain. It may not seem like a fun thing, but if you do this, Hashem says, this will really bring you a lot of benefit. You'll really get a lot from doing this. In order to do this, we have to first figure out who we are, and then we can figure out where we need to go. So there's a lot of things that when a person is born, says in the Torah, Zeh Sefer Tilas Adam. This is the book of the Chronicles of Man. Every person's a book. Every person's a book. When we're born, the book has no pages. It has pages, empty pages. And then things happen to us. Of course, everyone has characteristics that they're born with, but there are other things that happen to us throughout our lives that change the story. A father could say something to his son, the son doesn't even realize how those words could really alter and change his story and make him think differently about himself. It's a lot of words that are very penetrating to our subconscious that we don't even know how they affect us. Like if a father tells a son, why do you always interrupt me? Why do you always say, why are you so insolent? Why are you so bad? Why do you always do this? The father is not just saying something the son should do. The father is identifying the son. He's saying, why are you so bad? Why are you always like this? This is who you are. You can't stop being so lazy. You can't stop. So the father is causing the son to have a narrative about himself, that I'm lazy, that I'm bad. And what that does is, when the child grows older, it makes him think that about himself. And there are a lot of other things that teachers can do that are catastrophic to a child's upbringing, to really change the way that the child looks at himself. And so is also not just children, not just parents and children, but also our friends, people in our life. They say things to us, and it could really alter the way our self-image, the way we look at the world. And the social media that we always envelop with, it really gives us it brainwashes us. And we look at the world constantly because of all the brainwashing we're getting from all different angles, from the internet, from our phones, from our WhatsApp, from our texts. We're getting constantly brainwashing so that we don't have the same story about ourselves that we had when we were born. What is the real story that we had when we were born? The real story that we had when we were born is, as Hashem told Adam Rishon, God told Adam, you are in the image of Hashem. You create an image of God. You have a part of God in you. And it says in the Torah, God blew into Adam a spirit of life. You can't let out breath consistently without losing your energy. You could talk and talk and talk, but when you blow, you give yourself when you blow. So when it says that Hashem blew into Adam Rishon a spirit of life, what that really means is Hashem invested into Adam Rishon his whole self. So who? Zohar says, when you blow from your very inner core. So when it says in the Torah that Hashem makes us an image of man, an image of Himself, that's who we really are. That's our real reality. That's what we're about. We often attribute our shortcomings and our mistakes and the things we do wrong as ourselves. This is ourselves. This is who I really am. The person has thousands of things they want, constantly change. I want this, I want that. And we identify ourselves with the things we want, and the things that we do and things that we say. The number one thing statistics say that people are always saying, what's the number one word people use? Number one word.
Like.
I? Nope. No. Very close to what? I is the number one word people use. And yet it's the number one thing that people don't know. It's the number one thing people don't know. We identify ourselves with our mistakes, but we really shouldn't. You would have sent me an incredible video, which it's a very powerful message. There was a teacher who was talking to his students, and he always had like a very paradigm shift lessons he would give his students, and they would really alter the way they looked at themselves and the way they looked at life. He told them once, everyone bring to class 10 potatoes. Okay, bring 10 potatoes to class because the new lesson I'm going to teach you, and it starts right now. Everyone take the potato out and take each potato and write on the potato the name of someone who's hurt you and the date that they've hurt you. In any way, they insulted you, made fun of you, write that on the potato. All the kids are thinking about all kinds of terrible things that happened to them in their life, and they're writing on the potato how they've been hurt, and who's hurt them, and what happened to them. And they say, okay, now take the potatoes, put them back in the bag. Put them back in the bag. Just hold on to this bag for 2 weeks. Doesn't matter what you're going to do, whatever you have to do, the bag has to stay with you. Whether you're going to take a shower, whether you're going to go to sports, you're going to go to sleep, next to the bag has to always be there with you. Always. So what happens? After a week, the potatoes start rotting and have a very foul odor. So at the end of 2 weeks, everyone walks into class with this foul odor of rotten potatoes. And the teacher says that usually we think of forgiveness as something that we do as a gift to the person who's wronged us. We think when I forgive somebody, I'm doing them a big favor. I'm giving them a gift. But the truth is, when you forgive somebody, you're not doing them a gift. You're not giving them a present. You're giving yourself. When you write that when those kids wrote down the things that hurt them, and they brought them with them for 2 weeks, they were living with that pain for 2 weeks. Who was getting hurt? They were hurting themselves. When you let go of that, it allows us, when you let go of the things that a lot of people think of themselves as victims. You know why I'm this way? Because I didn't get a promotion because my boss wasn't like me. I didn't get the position of the gabbai in the shul because the rabbi doesn't like me. I didn't get invited to the wedding because the mother-in-law didn't like me. And everyone has all kinds of things that they say about why they are in a certain position in life and how they got there because of certain people. But the truth is that, what are we really? We're really a part of Hashem. Each of us is a part of Hashem. That's who I am. I'm a part of Hashem. So no one has any control over you. No one can hurt you. No one can change you. No one can do anything to you. And also the mistakes that we make, the things that we do wrong, we shouldn't identify with them. We shouldn't say to ourselves, I am my mistakes. I'll tell you why. Before the sin of the tree of knowledge, it was obvious, right? Before the sin of the tree of knowledge, all evil was in this snake outside of them. There was a snake outside. That wasn't them. There was just a snake outside of them, right? But then they did the sin of the tree of knowledge. And what happened then? What happened then was that the snake, which was before on the outside, came on the inside. So that they identified and they felt, this is what I want, this is what I feel, this is what I like. They own it. It's me. I am my desires. I feel this way. But it's not really true. In Kabbalah, evil is called klippin. What's klippin mean? Klippin means that it's just a shell. It's not real. So although it's something that I'm feeling and I think it's me, Hashem tells me I should know it's not me. Imagine your child asks you to buy him a puppy, buy him a dog. You buy him a puppy, and you tell him, well, take care of the dog. Now, does a child have to educate the dog? Of course, he has to educate the dog. Make sure the dog knows when he has to go to the bathroom, and he has to signal you and go outside, and make sure the dog doesn't bark at people and jump on people. And so the child is entrusted with this task of taking care of the dog. But if the dog makes a living room rug, it's not your child who did it, it's the dog. The child is supposed to take care of the dog. If the child doesn't take care of the dog gets worse and worse. If the child doesn't educate the dog will grow, and eventually the dog will get out of control and control the child. But the dog isn't the child. The dog is just a dog. That's our animal, our Yetzer Hara, our evil inclination in us, isn't me. That's just a dog. Hashem put a dog inside of me. That's not me. Who am I? I'm my neshama. I'm good. Hashem gave me something else. So when Hashem told Abraham to go out of your land, it's a dat. So what it's a dat does is it makes me feel that the desires I have are mine. But I have to really say to the animal soul, when it starts telling me this, a lot of people get very angry, right? And the anger they have very often is not anger at other people. Sometimes we get angry at ourselves. Why I'm acting this way? And I'm upset the way I'm acting. This person brought me down. And the idea of lechacha, me'artzecha, first of all, the first thing it means, lecha me'artzecha means go away from this need to have approval from others.
Push it out.
Push it out, this need to have approval from others. Push out this.
Let it get to you.
Yeah, Rabbi Yossi Jacobson said the story about how he was once at a wedding. The wedding was, I think it was in New York, and all the who's who, all the rabbis and all the dignitaries, a huge wedding. I think actually it wasn't a wedding, it was a bar mitzvah. But the mitzvah was bigger than a regular wedding. It was a really huge bar mitzvah. And the father of the boy walks over to Rabbi Jacobson and he says to him, "You think I amounted to something in my life? You think I accomplished something?" So, what are you talking about? He says, this is not bad, right? I mean, I've made a bar mitzvah, and it's nice, and I'm able to do all this thing, and I have to spend all this money. Doesn't that show that I made something in my life? Why would you say? What are you talking about? This is because when I was in third grade, my teacher told me I'll never become anything in my life. I'll never amount to anything. So he's like, and you think that way? He says, I think about it all the time. Imagine this kid's growing up all this time. That's how he's thinking, and even now, how is he going to fix things? He asks Rabbi Jacobson, "Did I do this? Did I do this?" He's constantly living with the need to have others' approval. Now, of course, the Gemara says that the tzaddikim, their heart is in their domain, and the wicked, they are in their heart's domain. Like, for example, it says in the Torah, Haman spoke in his heart. Esav spoke in his heart. Yeravam spoke in his heart. On the other hand, when it talks about tzaddikim, it says they spoke on their heart. Very good. There's Chana spoke on top of her heart. What's the difference? What did Haman say? Haman said, Haman had it really good. Haman was very wealthy. Everyone honored him. Haman could do whatever he wanted. He was second in command to the king. He had prestige. He had honor. He had wealth. But what bothered him? There's one person who's not bowing down to him. So Haman didn't have any control of himself. His whole being was just, what do others say about me? And without that, he felt worthless. He didn't have any self-control. He was controlled by everyone else's approval of him. So the meaning of lechacha means that Hashem tells us to get in touch and to realize and identify with your real self. Get in touch with your neshama. There was a tzaddik before the World War II. His name was the Piasetzner Rebbe. And he had a chassid whose grandson wrote a lot of stories about his grandfather. Amazing stories of his grandfather's experience in the concentration camps in World War II. There was one occasion where his grandfather was given the coveted job of working in the kitchen. Everyone wants to work in the kitchen in Auschwitz, because you work in the kitchen, you get to be closer to the food and eat more food, hopefully. So this guy, when the SS guard brought him into the kitchen, he said to him, all our pots and pans, they all have to be oiled, lots of oil, an unusual amount of oil, because we don't want to have any rust. You don't want to have your fellow Jews eating rust. There's lots of oil. Okay. So he, ever so often, he would try to steal oil. And he put the oil under some ashes in the oven. Try to put, try. And one day he goes to his storage house. It's all gone, and an SS guard sees him. He says, you're trying to steal from us? Today's your last day of life. And he puts him in front of all the other Jews in the concentration camp. And he says the head officer is going to come, and he's going to do the honors. They put a rope around his neck. They put him on a chair. And he started to think about his life. He started to think of where he was going. He started to think he's going to go to Gan Eden. He's going to go to heaven. He'll have to leave the whole Auschwitz, the whole terror, and all the Nazis. And he's going to go to Gan Eden. And where is he going to be in Gan Eden? He's going to finally see. He's going to be with his Rebbe, the Piasetzner Rebbe. That's what he's thinking. And he's smiling. And he's happy. He looks, and he sees everyone's looking at him. And he tries to give them strength. He tries to, he's going to smile. And he's smiling and he's thinking. All of a sudden, he hears a scream, "Get down! Get down! Go back to the barracks." He opens his eyes. He's in Gan Eden. He's down in Gan Eden. And they're screaming at him to go down from the chair. What's going on? So he goes back to the barracks. And another Jew says to him, "How did you have such strength?" What are you talking about? How did you do what you did? He said, what did I do? He said, "You don't know what you did." He said, "No." He said, "You started to scream." He didn't know this. But you started to scream. You screamed. You care. The Nazi was saying, "This is what happens when you steal from us. Doesn't matter. You steal our food. You do anything you steal from us. This is what happens to you." So he started to scream. He says, "You care about the rust on your pots? What about the rust on our bodies? What about the rust on our neshamas? What about that?" And the Nazi guard says, "You're crazy. You're crazy. Just go back to your barracks." And this man said later. He says these words didn't come from him. He didn't know he said these words. He says he felt that his Rebbe, Piasetzner Rebbe, just came into him somehow and said those words. So this is the message Hashem is telling us this week, that when we have all these kinds of voices in our heads defining ourselves, left, Hashem says, "Go to yourself." There was a woman, you know what a thimble is? A thimble?
Yeah, when you sew.
You put a thimble, shouldn't hurt your fingers. So there's a woman who has a lot of different challenges. So she went to a rabbi talking about her challenges. The rabbi said to her that she should make a monster, a design of a monster on her thimble, and she should talk to it. This is the Yetzer Hara. She should identify. She should be able to identify which voices are from Yetzer Tov, which voice is Yetzer Hara, and it's not an easy thing. The way to tell, I tell Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Hara come. Both Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara mean painter, artist. Yetzer Tov means the one who makes good things look good and bad things look bad. Yetzer Hara means the one who makes good things look bad and bad things look good. That's the meaning of Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Hara. So whenever you realize there's a voice in your mind, you should know, you should identify with it. Like it says in Tanya, you should talk to it. It says in Tanya in chapter 29, it says talk to Yetzer Hara. You should be upset at Yetzer Hara. Talk to Yetzer Hara. So she did it. She whenever something came in her head, she would do it for real. She would talk. One day she's driving with her grandchildren, and she has her thimble on her thumb as usual, and it falls off. Amazing thing. Such wisdom is imparted to children, grandchildren, by osmosis. Without you do, when you work on yourself, it transfers. The child says, "Your Yetzer Hara fell off." She didn't tell the child the whole thing or two, but he noticed. Yetzer Hara fell off. So the bottom line where we're going is that Hashem wants us to feel like we're in the clouds of glory. Imagine we're going out of Mitzrayim, we're going out of the desert, and we're inside the clouds. Hashem is with us. And although there's lots of snakes, lots of scorpions, a lot of things around us, the Eitz Hadas puts around us, we have to realize that it sounds egotistical. It sounds like it's a gaiva, it's arrogant. It's not gaiva. It's not gaiva. This is the meaning of left. And when we have this, we're able to love other people as well. It says that a not perfect tzaddik is able to love someone who's not completely a Russian. But a perfect tzaddik is able to love someone who's absolutely Russian. So this is the key to Be'atar Kamecha. There's a word from the Kotzker Rebbe, which all of us have heard many times. I think all of us have heard many times. But some people, it's not a word they've heard many times. Some people, this is their life. What's the Kotzker Rebbe say? He said, if I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I, and you are not you. But if I am I because I am I, and you are you because you are you, then I am I, and you are you. In other words, Torah says to me, I shall love my fellow like myself. That is a crazy thing happened to me last week. Last week, I was on a mission to get sushi. That was my mission, given to me by my boss. And it's a very important thing to do this on time, right? So I met someone as I was waiting for the sushi, and I put on film with him. And after I finished putting on film with him, the guy says, can I tell you an idea about loving your fellow like yourself? Like, I can't really listen to the idea. I have a mission right now. It's sushi, the sushi is ready. I got to go. Okay, so I go and I start pulling out my car. And lo and behold, as I'm pulling out, there's a truck which doesn't see me. And I'm stopped and he's stopped. And I'm sure he could see me because I'm stopped in the middle of the road. But he doesn't see me. And I think legally it's still my fault anyways, even though he was stopped and pretty far away. Whatever. That's what the rules are. And he goes right into the car. And so, okay, and a week passes, and I decided, you know what? I had this guy's number because of what happened. I maybe be a witness. But I called him up. I just want to know, what was that thing you wanted to tell me about? Yeah, what was that thought you wanted to tell me? To love your fellow like yourself. What do you want to tell me? It's an amazing thing. He says, love your fellow like yourself. First of all, it means you have to love yourself. You can't love others unless you love yourself. And it sounds egotistical, but not egotistical. You have to realize that you're not loving what you say, what you think, what you do. You're loving who you really are. You're loving, you're loving your neshama. You're loving the fact that your goodness, you're real. The guy who was born was good, right? You're loving that. And then if you love that, you have to love someone else. Then it's another thing. He's not religious at all. He had this amazing jewel of wisdom that I don't think it says in the Torah, but it's jewel of wisdom. The root of the word l'reyacha, the center of the word is ra, evil. Love your evil like you love yourself too. Even the Yetzer Hara. Hashem gave you your Yetzer Hara. He didn't give me your Yetzer Hara. He gave you your Yetzer Hara. Oh, well, no, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that on the one hand, the Yetzer Hara is the dog. It's not you. Don't identify the Yetzer Hara. On the other hand, you should also realize Hashem gave you the challenges that you have, and they're yours. And they're only through these challenges can you be who you need to be. I'll just conclude with one more thing. I'll let you guys go before we go to the halacha. Everyone stay for the halacha share. In the Mishnah Pirkei Avos, it says in chapter 3, Mishnah 4. The simple meaning is so different to the deeper meaning. Simple meaning is like this: you stay up at night, right? If you walk on the road by yourself and you pay attention to nothingness, so then to things which aren't important, you deserve anything that's going to happen to you because you're doing something dangerous. Stay up at night and walk on the road by yourself. Rebbe's father said an unbelievable deeper insight to these words. Night means the exile. Night means at the time before Mashiach comes, before we could see the truth of Hashem. So you're up at night. You're one of the few people in the world that is up at night. You get it. You've got this mitzvahs, you've got the shachris and milchamayim. You know what's going on. So what happens? What happens is you discover that you could hear the beating of your own heart because you're walking the road by yourself. Because you have to forge ahead in a place, in an environment of darkness. So you discover a different connection to Hashem you wouldn't have discovered had you not had the darkness. It's the darkness which creates that kind of setting where you're able to get in touch with your neshama, get in touch with yourself. It's the ra, it's the evil that's around you, the darkness, which gets you in touch with yourself. And because of that, people start looking up to you because you're a beacon of light. You're walking. You're one of the few people who's awake at night, and you get it. So people start looking up to you. So therefore, the Mishnah tells you, finally, you have to pay attention to your own worthlessness. Although I'm saying the whole time that you're neshama, you're valuable, but it's all because of what Hashem gave you, and it's not because of your own achievements. Rabbi he always would speak to yeshiva students in his house on Friday night. One Friday night, he would sit in the middle. When he got older, especially, he didn't have his voice lost. He didn't have a strong voice. So he would sit in the side. Wouldn't sit in the head of the table on the side, so everyone could hear him. So the boys weren't really sure what's sitting at the head of the table. They go like this, they go like that. They want to sit at the head of the table. And his wife walks in. He's like, it's not contagious. If you sit at the head of the table, you won't be like him automatically. It comes through hard work. So the Levin said, if you do these things, if you stay up awake at night and you walk on the road by yourself, So Harei Zeh, just like when at the Reed Sea, you could see Hashem very clearly. He said, "This is my God," and it's Metchayev. It's something which is obvious. That's how we felt then. So when you do these things, this will bring us the time of Mashiach when the night will shine like the day. So the bottom line is, Parshas Lech Lecha. It's time to get away from our desires and identifying with our evil. It's not to say that I am my Yetzer Hara, I am the evil, I am the bad guy. Start identifying with who we are really, and this will help us to really go places, really go when you go, which we need to get to Geulah. This is really the key to Geulah. Identify ourselves to who we really are. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the, again, when you're on the road at night, what was the higher way of looking at it?
You're awake at night and you're walking the road by yourself.
Yeah.
Exiles compared to night.
Yeah.
And when you're awake at night, you discover you're walking the road, you end up forging your own personal connection to Hashem because of the darkness. You end up walking in the road by yourself. You end up making a deeper, more personal connection to Hashem because of the night. And then you might think, oh, I'm so great. So if the Mishnah says you should pay attention to the Vatala, you should realize that who gave it to you. Yeah, I'm going to do also a